write, words of encouragement to them, a really personal note. And then they made it all nice and fancy and put it on fancy paper and sent it home with each one of us. And that was really precious. And yeah, she did give us a fun present. It was a really cool camera. It's like a instant camera, kind of like the old Polaroids. Mm-hmm. Really fun present, and jewelry and stuff. And then we made dream boards, which I've always wanted to, but it's like, I don't have hours to spend on something like that.
Yeah.
But when that's all you're doing, that's so cool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was really fun. So
I've often worked at a dream board and I've never finished it, so I know exactly what you mean.
Right. I was just like, I always think I should not be spending this much time doing something like this, but boy, that was awesome. So go there next time. She hired a chef to come and cook for us one night.
Yeah.
Just crazy. I felt so absolutely like I didn't even deserve that, but it was really special.
Well, with you having to miss a convention, I was really glad that you could go.
Thank you. And that's exactly why I was like, I had to go. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. It was awesome. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Well, awesome. How did you work in like doing business stuff along with that? Did you guys work together, or did you just kind of scrap it for a couple days?
Oh, I scrapped it for a couple days.
You were on vacation.
I worked really hard right before I left. I think I signed 3 ambassadors like the day before I left, and a customer. So it's like, I took a couple days off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That is so cool. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, who else wants to tell us about their week? We already heard from Kathleen. And then Mother
I
Bonnie.
can say this.
Okay.
I can say that we have to be careful. Again, it has so much to do with our mindset. And I signed a lady up this week who is so sick. And when I first started conversing with her on Messenger, she was just like, oh, I take Thrive. I'm on Thrive and I'm on CBD oil. But one day I noticed on her post, she said how much pain she has that particular day. And so I just reached out to her again. I was like, oh, I have stuff that can help you. I would love to see what it would do for you. Mm-hmm. And she had a couple of things, against it that she acted a little bit like she didn't really want to hear. And I just kept asking her a little bit more. And then she told me, I explained about the X Factor and how it's fully methylated and how her body doesn't need to work to absorb it. And, all of that. Mm-hmm. And she started perking up and she was like, oh, I didn't know that, Mm-hmm. And she signed up and she's on it now in just a few days. And so I'm just really praying for her that she will find relief, because she's one of those people that are just like at the end of what they can do because they've tried everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
awesome.
Just keep pouring into people. Do not give up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll be right back. Okay. Keep going.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Something I was thinking about this week as well is, sometimes people give you a no and you absolutely need to accept it and just be like, okay, no problem, absolutely. But so much of it has to do with our attitude towards it and why we're approaching them and why we're being persistent. And it's like, I have a newer ambassador that's working on talking to people, and she had somebody that commented on her post and asked how she was losing this weight. And she said, oh, it's a lifestyle change, or what kind of diet she's on or whatever. She's like, it's a lifestyle change. It's not just a diet. I take Plexus and it just really helps with to curb my cravings and things like that. And then I don't eat the stuff. And this lady was like, oh, wow, it sounds like that would work. And my new ambassador never took that as like, this lady is interested. And so I brought it up to her and she was like, oh, I never thought of it like that. Like, this lady was asking about it because she wanted to know, and she wanted to know what works and how to make something work. And I had that happen with somebody else earlier this week too. It's like people say stuff sometimes, and objections are not always them being upset. It's just, or maybe not even upset, but it's not them saying no. It's just them, they have questions. And sometimes they make it a statement instead of a question. And then we just take it as like, oh, I gotta just, not say anything more. But sometimes they're just telling you their doubts so that you can help them deal with it.
My mom actually just came from my brother's birthday, and one of the ladies there I talked to when I very first started, and she's like, no, I have my CBD oil. I'm good. I just want to go that route. And she asked my mom, who, by the way, said she wasn't doing nothing, and they ordered 3 things this month because my dad's like, oh, I want to take it. And she asked my mom, well, how are you losing weight? She said, well, she says, I know, you're going to tell me Plexus. And she said, yeah, that's it. That's part of it. Well, yeah. I don't want to sign up. I don't want to sell it. Kathy will want me to sell it. And so my mom talked to her a little bit. So I got to get back in touch with her and maybe she'll start using it. She has fibromyalgia and I don't know, some other like immune stuff going on. But it's true. I mean, It's been 3.5 months since at least 2 months since I talked to her. I message her every once in a while if I see a post or something, but I'm not pushy. And I tell everybody that I'm going to keep asking you and talking to you about it till you tell me shush and leave me alone. But if I see something, I'm going to make a comment. But I'm not pushy rude about it, obviously, or she would not have been willing to talk to my mom.
Right. And you're not, if people are just like, absolutely no, then it's like, you're not going to keep bugging them if it's absolutely not something they're interested in.
Right. Or if you have an ambassador sign up who kind of has that attitude, right, Roseanne? I have one I'm dealing with right now that is like, he just does not want us to bother him, period. He bought it. He just wants to use it. Leave him alone. He's going to do his own thing. That got very agitated with me and your mom trying to friend him, and find more out to help him. And so I don't know, I think next week his order goes through. We'll see if it goes through or not.
Yeah. Well, then I guess just make sure he's in the Gut Health and Happiness and the team page.
No, he won't let us tell him anything. Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, he's kind of prickly, as your mom put it.
Yeah. I called him.
Well, I was at a training seminar this weekend and she said, sometimes you're going to get those people who just, they won't take the products. They won't do what they need to do to be successful at it. And so you just go back to them and you just say, hey, I just want to make sure that I did everything I could. Do you feel like I've done everything on my part possible that I could do? And, I just want to make sure that you had a satisfactory customer experience.
Yeah,
because they're not willing to talk to you.
Did that with him, and he just kept saying, I wish you guys would just stop bugging me. And so I just said, okay, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, Bonnie, how did your week go? Sorry.
Sorry, I was just with the kids, so they're really loud. My week did not go so well as far as my business. I just had a lot going on. We had our fair this week and stuff, so. But, I mean, I made new friends and was talking to people. Actually, I did, get a few like appointments for this week for lunch. One of my friends wants to talk to me more. And I had a few younger people. It's funny, but some young people, they're like 16 and stuff, asking me about Plexus. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Customers looking at that, but
yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I just wasn't working that hard because I just had so many other things going on this week. But I'm looking forward to this week.
Yeah. Well, and if you made some good friends and made some contacts and set up some appointments, we'll focus on our sprouts and protect them and take good care of them. This week was pretty insane because Monday and Tuesday, I don't remember what I did, but I did I did very little business work, put it that way. What was Monday and Tuesday, Mother? I don't remember, but I was gone most of both days. But you guys,
Tuesday is when you had people over for supper and you went to Quinn's and you went to.
Oh yeah, I went and I met a local lady for the day and I had people over for supper and I had something else going on too. 3 things in the one day. Anyway,
You worked in your garden.
But it is amazing, you guys, when we don't have much time but we're determined to meet our minimums, how much you can knock out in a shorter period of time. So this is what my week looked like. Monday and Tuesday, you can see there was basically nothing besides some follow-up. And then Wednesday and Thursday, I got the majority of my work done. And it depended here on Wednesday because you can see all my asks. Basically, all my asks were on Wednesday. And then as people got back to me, I could send them information and so on. Because then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we were at a conference all day and only had lunch hours free and evenings free. So if you're determined to hit your minimums, it is amazing. I shocked myself again how quickly I can get it done if I just get out of my head and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop thinking about it and stop making it so complicated and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of how my week went. Monday and Tuesday was like next to nothing. And then most of the work was on Wednesday and then Thursday and Friday following up and like actually sending the information and whatnot. But
When is that baby due, by the way?
September 9th, I have 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
So now I'm needing to get canning done and get my house clean because it's dirty from the summer and from, anyway. Not the time or the place to talk about this, but anyway, my next 3 weeks I'm like, I gotta get ready for a baby now. But I'm determined to meet my minimums, you guys, because we aren't going to see the results that we want in our 3 months if we don't stick with it.
Yep.
And I can actually say finally last week and this week, I finally started seeing some results from the work I've been doing. I signed up a new ambassador and a new customer. And now is when it gets hard, but it's important to stick with it so that we can get the results. Because if we quit now, we're going to have put all this work in for nothing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like we're going to lose out on all the asking that we did and the information that we sent and stuff like that. And people who are getting to the point now where they're ready to get started, we're going to miss out on that if we don't keep it up. So I had to kind of preach to myself about that. This past week and today. And this weekend we had a funeral, or rather today we had a funeral. One thing that the gal talked about that really hit me at the seminar that we went to this weekend, I thought I would share with you guys. She was talking about when you are talking to a potential, she calls them first a suspect. You send them your initial information. If they get back to you and you can tell that they're just not excited about it, they're just not really that interested, then they're not a potential. You say, okay, this sounds like it's not really for you. So maybe if you ever decide maybe it's something you're interested in, you can get back with me, but you take it away from them. If they're not really interested and they're not really excited about it, take it away from them and just say, this sounds like it's not really for you. And so if you're ever interested at a later date, let me know. But for now, let's, whatever. Just move the conversation on. So that was one thing. Not everybody is a potential. Everybody's a potential, but you qualify them. You send them some information. If they're not really interested, if they're not really excited about it, then take the option away from them for now. Instead of being desperate and like always just like trying to get anybody and everybody. Because if they're not dedicated and they're not committed, they're not going to get the results we want them to get anyway. One thing she always says is that if you find yourself convincing, just stop. If you find yourself trying to convince somebody to do it, just stop. Just stop talking, because we're not in a convincing business. We are in a sharing business. We have something special to give people kind of business. Not like, oh, here, you got to try this for me. You know what I mean? But that was besides the point. What I was going to say, she was talking about when you are talking to somebody, you send them the videos, right? And they say, and then you ask, what did you like about what you saw? And they say, oh, I liked what they said about having more energy or whatever. And I know for me, my tendency, and this is what she was addressing, is to go, oh, yes, I know exactly what you mean. I felt that way too. I have so much more energy than I used to, blah, 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 blah. She said, don't do that. You're taking the attention back on yourself. She said, instead, if they say, oh, I liked what they said about having more energy, then you say to them, tell me more about that. Why do you want more energy? You keep the attention on them and on their needs, and keep them talking about themselves. People will talk about themselves all day long.
Good point.
You always want to keep the attention back on them as much as possible. So that was really good reminder for me.
Yep.
And I just thought I would share that here with all of us that are working on learning the art of sales.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good sales. But
I think that's one thing that I've really had to learn, is just keeping it on them instead of, oh yeah, well, I have 5 children or 10 children too, no, that's not what you say. So it's really something to learn.
Yep. Put the attention back on them. It's all about them. And the more they talk about themselves and what they want to see change in their life, the more you're going to be able to effectively help them. And you're going to be able to say, I know you want to have more energy so that you can play with your kids more and you can go have fun with them and be a better mom. So why don't we get you this and this and this package? Go ahead and get you started. Or however that goes. But yeah, it was just a really good reminder for me. Rather than always trying to relate and be so friendly and be like, oh yes, me too, Instead, just put the conversation back on them. Say, tell me more about that. Why do you want to have more energy? So that's the one tip one of the tips I gleaned from this weekend that I thought I'd pass along to you guys. Anybody else have anything they want to share?
One of the things that we did in our training was Kristen kind of focused on feeling successful, feeling successful instead of, feeling like where we are. instead of feeling like, oh, I'll be successful when. And so she did a little exercise just having us think of one area where we felt successful in 4 different areas: our health, our money or resources, our personal growth and learning, or fellowship and community. These are 4 areas she wanted us to find something we felt successful on. And so I just took notes. Everybody said one thing that they felt successful in these areas. I took notes what everybody said, because I thought this was kind of encouraging just to hear what people feel successful because of their Plexus business. And it just kind of made me think of more people that could maybe use this. All right. So like one person said she had deliverance from depression. Another person said she made a best friend through her Plexus business. Another one is free from PCOS and constipation. Another lady has regular menstruation that she never had. Another lady has had belief in herself. Another one, she was suffering from Hashimoto's. Yeah. And she felt like she's now the mom she always wanted to be instead of laying on the couch exhausted. Another one is a lady who felt freedom from feeling guilty for not being the mom she wanted to be. And then another one, she said that her car broke down and she had to refill a propane tank, and they didn't have that panic attack that they usually would have, because they had that extra money. Another one said now she can dream of bigger things. And someone said, $1,000 to $2,000 a month can really impact a family, just make a huge impact. And then someone said the stress of always worrying about money, she was free from that. And then like someone said, if you could just make enough to make a house payment, what a difference that would make in your family. Someone else said not having to skip meals anymore, and she could buy organic. So I was like, these are just little things that, people experience through their Plexus business. And it was just like, that was a pretty big deal. Mm-hmm. So it was really encouraging.
So encouraging.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for
That's
sharing
awesome.
those.
Yeah.
Jessie, I saw you hopped on here. Do you want to tell us about your week?
Hi, yes, sorry I was late. My mother-in-law just popped over, and so
It's okay.
just was able to hop on. It was really good. Let's see. I was not as good with my workbook as I wanted to, but I did have some different sections that I was able to, not as many reach outs as I wanted, but yeah, some getting to follow up and sending stories and stuff to people. But then, yeah, as far as the trip, that was such a blessing, and I would say, if at all possible, everyone needs to go if those are available. I think it just makes such a huge impact to be able to talk to people one-on-one a lot more when it's a smaller group. I love that aspect, because even Leaders Retreat, just so many people, so busy, it's hard to have those
Convention.
Convention. It's hard to have very many in-depth conversations, and so that I really, really appreciated. They just spoiled us so much, and I love getting to see the diversity too that was there. That was something that I just shared with my mother-in-law. Like, there was the plain community type, or those who have recently, I'm presuming, stepped out of the plain community. Those who were, maybe Kathy already shared some of this, but someone who's in nuclear medicine, which I don't even know what that means, but very, very involved in a lot of medical stuff. And then marriage speaker at conferences, ministry, that type of thing. So just the diversity, I think, is so sweet in getting to see how it blesses people's lives and getting to see into their lives more, and getting something I appreciate is getting to see just the down to earth struggles that all of them, literally all of them have. All of us have the different areas and struggles, and yeah, I think just the realness is so sweet and so special to
Yeah.
get
And
to
yet
see.
help overcoming.
Yes, yeah,
That is-
getting to see huge struggles that have been going on for just years and years and years, and that they pressed through in their own personal growth and stuff while that was all still going on. And so so encouraging.
Ah, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess for those that aren't gold, you guys get to gold, and then we'll all go next year.
Yeah.
Oh man. And being consistent with our work and following up and actually closing people is going to be what's going to get us the gold.
Yep.
Yeah. One other thing I was going to mention quick, what stood out to me and kind of how they started the training was the one thing, it is far more about being than doing. And so the personal growth and overcoming insecurities and that type of thing is like the big thing, because that impacts everything else we do. And so I was just really encouraged to keep pouring into that area, especially as I'm working the other areas.
Yeah, that's such a good reminder, because the conference we went to this weekend, that's a lot of what they focus on as well. And statistics tell us that 98% of Americans will be dead or dead broke by the time they're 65. And by dead broke, they mean either living off of the government, family, friends, or whatever for their primary source of income. And just always struggling to break even. 98%. And she said, she gives us these different statistics and stuff about the different types of people who make it to the 2%. And one thing she brought out is like 98% of people are in the evenings in their spare time or whenever they're watching TV or watching movies or being entertained. Whereas the 2% in their spare time, they are reading books, having quality conversations with people, or doing some sort of fun activity with their family, with their friends, but actually like doing something and doing something constructive, not just being entertained. A really good reminder for me. One statement she's made is that what goes into my mind becomes my life.
Yeah.
If I fill my mind with just pointless, whatever, that's going to be my life.
Yeah.
So the whole thing of like personal development, so many ways we can approach that. And I think it can be a little easy to get overwhelmed sometimes. But one thing she recommends is choose one area that is going to make the biggest impact on your whole life. You choose one thing that will make the biggest overall impact and focus on that for the next month. Focus on that one thing, and you can have maybe a second and a third, but no more than that. Like maybe 3 things at the most, but know which is most important and which is second, which is third, and focus on those things for the next month. When it comes to like, becoming somebody different, becoming somebody better, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. Because I don't know about anybody else, but I can tend to get overwhelmed and just be like, oh, I've got all these different places I need to grow in, and then you just don't want to do any of it. But
Yeah.
be faithful with the little.
Yeah.
And then we will be given more, because we were faithful with that, and the Lord can trust us with more.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that, Jessie. That's just awesome. What did she, so maybe that would be a really good exercise for everybody this week. I know you guys already did it, but maybe for everybody else, that would be a great exercise for everyone this week to write down. What were the things, Jessie? Successful in business, health, and what was the other area?
Oh, are you asking me?
That was Kathy.
Either one
Yeah.
of you.
Okay. So it was health, health, money or resources, personal growth or learning, and fellowship and community. So those are the 4 areas.
So personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just writing them down here. Yeah, and you said.
So yeah, it's just finding success where I'm at. So where I am in my health right now, the money, resources that I'm bringing in, personal growth or learning, and fellowship or community.
Okay. Okay.
And it's so funny because some of these didn't seem as important to me, but like for the gal who said, I made a best friend, that's huge. That was her biggest thing, is she made a best friend. That's, and some people are dying for that.
Yeah. It's
So
true.
you said
Yeah.
success, not successful in, but you worded it different. How did you say that again?
Feel successful. You can feel successful where you're at right now. Even if you haven't reached where you want to be.
Okay.
Kathy, did you share about her after she had us do all that, then of going into like from a more of a goals point of view, but of what we have built at that point as far as investment wise?
Oh, I didn't go into that. Mm-mm.
It was just fascinating because I think it would break down into other areas too, even with businesses. I can't just off the top of my head think of something at different levels, like say from a silver standpoint. So I'll just share what she said. But yeah, in getting us to be grateful and to see what's already achieved, she said most golds or they're above are earning about 1,000 or more a month. And so if say you have a rental property of roughly 100,000 or so, maybe 200,000 depending on where you're at, and real estate, that most of those to have an investment property that you've invested that much in, that's about how much you would make a month. And that's not considering how much you have to put back in for fixing it up and all those kinds of things. And so
yeah,
that income is already such a small investment, but making already that much.
That's true. That's true. It's a very good way to look at it. All right. Well, and you know what? I actually have something written down here from this weekend. It's kind of along the same line. She said, sell yourself on your success story. Know what success looks like for you, and sell yourself on it. Like, keep that in front of you. This is where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Are going to get there, kind of thing. Like, have that mentality. And like you're saying, being grateful for how far you already are, and
Mm-hmm.
feeling already there, like you're already on your way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
this has been so good, you guys. I don't want to make it take too long, but I'm so thankful for each of you that hopped on. And
All right. Thank you for keeping us accountable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go your charts in the chat if you haven't yet. I've been the last couple of weeks there hasn't been anybody that reached the minimum, so I haven't done any prizes, but hopefully we can do some here soon.
Okay.
Or at least not all the minimums, I think, or maybe if I got that right. But anyway, so I'm going to turn off this recording and we will put that back in the chat as well for everybody to listen to.